everyone. I'm Jody Akin. I'm founder and CEO of Hawthorne Effect. First of all, I want to congratulate the two prior groups because you're amazing and you're doing amazing things. So little hard act to follow there. So clinical trials don't happen where patients live, which means they don't represent the populations that we actually intend to serve, and we don't get the data that we need. Since clinical trials are the bedrock of medicine, Hawthorne Effect set out to solve the accessibility problem. Access is complicated. Access used to mean if you or your child or your loved one can get into a top medical institution, become eligible after a number of screening tests, be able to put your life on hold to go back and forth for follow-up, then you might have the privilege to participate in a trial that could save your life or certainly make it better. You'd have to take time to and from work, off of school or away from leisure. You'd have to travel distances to adjust your life to schedule and complete study visits with time-sensitive windows. Once you get there, you'll have to navigate the labyrinth of the medical centers that are already burdened with resource allocation. That's all if you even knew about the trial, had the means, and trusted the system, but many patients don't. As a result, clinical trials still face major challenges with patient recruitment and attrition, especially for diverse and underserved populations. Still, Black, Latino, Native American, Asian representation comprise somewhere between 0.5% and less than 5% of most clinical studies, far below our population ratios. Other demographics such as age ranges, children or elderly, gender, and other profiles are significantly also disadvantaged in clinical trials. So it's no wonder that recruitment timelines, population representation in clinical trials have barely moved for decades, despite public and private efforts, including codified national initiatives and the efforts of impassioned clinical trial industry. And no wonder the issues of data completeness, timeliness, and interpretability remain problematic. It's all related to the same problem. The ecosystem for the patient journey was entirely inside out all along. We needed to reverse the clinical trial pathway, starting from where patients live, with the trusted relationships they already have, and connecting them to life-changing opportunities in clinical research, straight from their trusted communities. But also to ensure this all happens in a reliable, compliant, tested, regulated ecosystem where data can be trusted by regulators like FDA, physicians, providers, and patients themselves to inform decisions for approval and adoption of new treatments. After all, clinical trials are the bedrock of medicine. It's all changed now. Hawthorne Effect created an ecosystem that enables patients to learn about clinical trials from their neighborhood pharmacist, doctor, or retail health partner, and together with their local physician, become connected to life-changing clinical trials even if the principal investigator are hundreds or thousands of miles away. The Hawthorne Effect platform is an all-in-one GCP-compliant digital interface that delivers real-time, validated, and highly curated clinical data from multiple sources. In addition to handling digital recruitment, screening, enrollment, scheduling, equipment logistics, and data transfer, its intelligent matching algorithm links patients with Hawthorne heroes and investigators, a specialty network of more than 4,000 certified medical professionals who meet patients where they are, whether it be directly in their homes or within their communities. This means that the patient journey from learning about the study to the final delivery of data is conducted in one cohesive flow. It receives patients from various sources such as health systems, retail health partners, and traditional sites. And then it connects patients and heroes and sends the data our heroes curate back into the study database and the medical record, a virtuous cycle. With this, I'm pleased to announce the Preview Valve study, a novel large-scale landmark prevalence study designed to diagnose undetected, life-threatening valvular heart disease affecting millions of Americans. As is true with many chronic diseases, it's often silent. So when symptoms occur, it's generally a late sign, impacting quality of life and longevity. The novel study design by Dr. David Cohen of the Cardiovascular Research Foundation was made possible by partnering with the Hawthorne Effect ecosystem together with retail health partner CVS Caremark Health. The study aims were to first establish a reliable population-based estimates of valvular heart disease prevalence among older Americans, then to allow for the development and validation of several innovative tools to aid in the detection and diagnosis of valvular heart disease, to enable patients with detected disease to undergo further evaluation and possible life-saving treatment, and last, to establish the feasibility of a fully distributed trial design requiring complex assessments and to target and achieve population representation. So the methods. First, with regard to the population we wanted, CVS Health provided an outreach to patients across all 50 United States with postcards and emails with links to the Hawthorne portal. Through the portal, patient information was provided in English and in Spanish by the principal investigator. Interested patients were able to then engage with Hawthorne heroes, learn details of the trial, be screened and consented via interpersonal telepresence visits. During the patient visit, then the patient was matched with heroes, scheduled, and the visits were conducted in their homes. During the patient visit, a sophisticated battery of assessments previously requiring a hospital visit were conducted in their homes, including a comprehensive echocardiogram of all 4 heart valves, a 12-lead EKG, blood draws, and a cardiomyopathy questionnaire. These assessments were collected in a choreographed combination of in-person examinations and patient-reported outcomes, creating an efficient and personalized experience for the patient and the real-time delivery of complete, complex data back to the investigator. The resultant HIPAA-compliant source documentation, including echo images and the EKG, went to the Columbia University Core Lab. Biospecimens were sent to the biobank at Vanderbilt University, and the clinical data was received by the study database at the Research Foundation. So the results. A 500-patient pilot was enrolled via one national site in less than 4 months across 48 contiguous United States and Hawaii. Asymptomatic patients who had previously undetected cardiac dysfunction were identified and elevated to the patient care teams. The majority of the patients consented to further follow-up or interest in future clinical trials. And the interim analysis confirmed that the quality of the data images, the feasibility of the new methodology, the trial is now expanded, and we've enrolled more than 1,100 patients today. So this is a new paradigm. Let me give you some results. First of all, per protocol objectives, a robust sample of patients more than 80 years old were enrolled. As valvular heart disease is a disease of the elderly, it targeted that we wanted to have a good number of elderly patients who typically can't and don't participate in clinical trials. Additionally, more than half were female, who are very well known to be undertreated for cardiovascular disease. And even more profound, almost 30% of the sample were of diverse non-white population. And broken down, 15% of African Americans were enrolled compared to the standards of less than 5%. 10% Hispanic compared to a standard of less than 1%. 3% Asian American, and we had also a number of Native American, Alaskan Americans, and Pacific Islanders, most of whom never get to participate in clinical trials. The significance of the study is that the detection and diagnostic of early disease and leading to timely treatment. But the traditional model of this type would have taken 50 clinical sites and 2 years to get up and running to enroll 500 patients. So it leads to tremendous opportunities across all therapy areas, including rare disease and targeted therapies that struggle to enroll and complete trials. If we can create access for patients to participate in complex clinical trials, We can also improve post-approval longitudinal follow-up and beyond. Better patient access and richness of data can lead to more robust real-world evidence, and the cycle of offering treatments and assessing outcomes over time improves. Starting where patients live, clinical trials can be inclusive of all population segments in the proportions required by the study protocol. So, we think we shifted the paradigm. Including the preview valve study, Hawthorne Effect has supported more than 70 complex clinical trials across a broad range of regulatory phases and therapy areas, including a new post-approval REMS program monitoring a rare, debilitating pediatric disease where hospital visits are either prohibitive or impossible for families, leading to accelerated FDA approvals and introduction of breakthrough therapies. This paradigm shift, solving for patient access first, has shown that health equity is feasible and data quality can be improved and studies can be accelerated. In conclusion, David Cohen, the principal investigator, says this is a major accomplishment for the medical research industry. For diseases that impact so many in the United States, it's critical to gather data that actually represent our population. So access to clinical trials no longer needs to be a privilege because clinical trials can happen where patients live. Thank you.